The thing is, there is so much judgment about sex drives in our culture. And so, talking about when they are mismatched is not as simple as it seems. So, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about what to do when your sex drives do not match. So, what kind of judgment do we have in our society? Well, even the terms we use to describe sex drives are full of judgment. We have low and we have high. I mean, you're basically saying one is bad and one is good. One is there's something wrong with you and you're kind of broken, and one is healthy and the ultimate thing you want to have. So it's no surprise that when I run surveys for women who see themselves as having a low sex drive, a lot of what they say is, I wish mine matched my husband's. I feel really bad about it. That's not to say that everyone does, but that's definitely was my experience, and that's definitely what hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of women have told me in the last couple of years. So I really want to get one thing very straight. There is no better, there's no worse, there is just different when it comes to how much you crave and desire sex. In fact, it's even more complicated than that because our bodies are sophisticated. And when it comes to desiring sex, there's actually two different types. There's a spontaneous desire, which means that you'll just be going around your day-to-day business and suddenly kind of want some sex. And there's another one, which is responsive desire, which means that you respond to things that are happening, which is why I shout from the rooftops scheduled sex, because it works for 70% of women. That's right, 70% of women have responsive desire. That's a whole other topic that I actually didn't have in my notes, but I thought it was really important to share. So I am assuming that I'm talking to women who have been labeled having a low sex drive by themselves or by books or by Freud, who did a number on us ladies. So if you're in a different category than that, just know that you're normal too. There are just as many women who have a higher sex drive. Now, I'm only using those terms not because I believe in them or think there's any truth to them, but because that's just what we're used to talking about in our society. So here's some 3 tips when it comes to having a mismatched sex drive. A different sex drive, not worse or better than, just different. The first is acceptance of the facts. My body just works the way it works. My brain just works the way it works. Great teams have diversity. They're not the same. And that's what you want in your marriage. You want diversity. It's not a bad thing. It's actually a strength. If you have everyone doing the same thing, that's just boring. So stop trying to be like your partner and stop trying to get your partner to be like you, because it's beautiful just to have acceptance. Now, you might even be really courageous, be really bold, and take it one step further, which is to love your differences. I have a mentor. Do I have her book here? No, but I talk about her book a lot, Come As You Are by Emily Nagoski, and I just love what she says. She says, confidence is knowing what is. Just what is, knowing what is. I don't like cold salad. I like it warm. That's just what is. So confidence is knowing what is about yourself, about how your body works, about how your husband's body works. Education is really important and powerful. Confidence is knowing what is, and joy is loving what is. So if you want to be super crazy, take acceptance and really up it up a notch and just love the way you were created. My second tip is just get curious. I love this mode of operation because it's a place of wonderment. It's a place of discovery. It's a place of learning rather than judgment and hopelessness and gloom. So really look and see, where do my desires and needs and wants or come together with my husband? So maybe this is you, maybe this is your husband, excuse me, and really get quite practical on this. Where do our, sexual interests really truly match? Not a compromise, but a 100% match. Where is there an opportunity, even if it's a back rub or a foot massage or a shower together or cuddling on the couch? I mean, there's all sorts of things that you can do that can be in there, even if they're not super intensely sexual or not. Then also look at like what time of the day matches, and assume that you can come to a win-win scenario. It doesn't have to be a compromise. Nobody has to feel resentful. Nobody has to feel used. Nobody has to feel bullied. You can genuinely come, if you have enough patience and perseverance, and come to a win-win. Then lastly, sometimes when you're in the process of those first two things, acceptance and really focusing on being curious about where where you come together there, like in that diagram, you need to zoom out a little bit and focus on unity. You have some strengths in your relationship already that you can be excited about, and you can celebrate, and you can put your attention towards. Sometimes when you narrow in on something that you feel is not working, it feels like your whole relationship is not working. It feels like it's never going to work in the future. There's nothing that says you can't have something that you're working on for the rest of your marriage and still have a really joyful, unified relationship. And I can say this with 100% certainty because this was what my husband and I dealt with for years. We had a mismatched sex drive, or that's how we perceived it at the time. Now we see it differently. But there were so many times when we just said, you know what? This really sucks. We cannot figure this out. We can't find anyone to help us figure this out, but we know other things to be true. We love each other. We're committed to each other. We can still have a ton of fun together. We're an awesome parenting team. We serve our community together. There was a lot of things that really kept us going strong. So focus on unity. And know that as you do that, and as you work on acceptance of the facts, and as you work on getting curious and knowing that there can be a win-win, you do not have to compromise, and nobody needs to feel horrible about anything, know that over time you can overcome this, and you can come to a place where sex is now a source of joy in your relationship. I know that because my husband and I did that after years and years. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that gave you a little bit of perspective. And if you are the spouse, if you're a woman and you are wondering how we made it work, I encourage you to take the Desire Fix quiz, because that will give you a unique and specialized action step for you to take that is directly correlated with the one thing that will make the biggest difference into wanting it more. And at the same time, accepting 100% who you are, how you're created, how your body works, how your mind works, and all of that. Because this is not about trying to be your husband or try to have a high sex drive. So I hope that was really helpful, guys. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.